Listen up, America. The dollar you're carrying in your pocket right now is getting dethroned and buried while you're busy scrolling. The suits in Washington and the clowns on Wall Street are straight up lying to your face, praying you never wake up to the truth. This ain't some tinfoil hat doomsday crap. This is dead-ass happening in 2026. Stick with me for the next 12 minutes, because what they're hiding could slam your savings, jack up your mortgage, and screw your retirement harder than any tax hike or market crash ever could. You ever get that gut punch feeling when something massive is cracking apart, but everybody around you keeps acting like it's just another Tuesday? That's exactly where the dollar sits right now. 2 years back, Saudi Arabia let the 50-year Petrodollar handshake with the United States quietly expire. No press conference, no fireworks, just a cold, "we're good" after 1974. Fast forward to April 2026, and the map looks totally different. Iran is slapping yuan tolls on every tanker crawling through the Strait of Hormuz. Indian refineries are
Russian
paying
oil
for
payments
Russian
in yuan
crude
and dirhams.
yuan
This
and
avoids Western sanctions, a smart financial
trade
strategy.
without touching a single greenback. And the BRICS crew? They've wired up their own payment rails, launched M-Bridge blockchain settlements, and are moving faster than the Fed can print excuses. Meanwhile, back in the States, the national debt just smashed through $39 trillion. 39 with a T. Interest payments alone are racing toward $1 trillion a year just to service the damn tab we already ran up. But here's the part nobody's saying out loud on CNBC or the evening news. The dollar didn't just drop dead overnight. It's dying in slow motion, one quiet trade deal at a time. And the reason it actually matters to you, the regular guy grinding through rent, groceries, and a 401k that feels thinner every quarter, is simpler than the PhD economists want to admit. Let me walk you through exactly how we got here, because this story didn't start yesterday. It started when the world was on its knees after World War II. Europe and Japan were bombed flat. They needed dollars to rebuild everything from factories to food, so they parked their cash in U.S. treasuries. The dollar became the only game in town, the safe bet when nothing else felt safe. Then 1971 hits and Nixon slams the gold window shut. Boom. The dollar stops being backed by metal and starts being backed by nothing but America's promise to keep its house in order. 3 years later, the real magic trick drops. Saudi Arabia agrees to sell every barrel of oil in dollars only and recycle those dollars straight back into U.S. debt. Petrodollar system born. Every country that needed oil suddenly had to stockpile dollars. Demand stayed stupid high. We got to print money like it was going out of style, run monster deficits, and the rest of the world basically footed the bill. That system was a cash machine for 50 years. Cheap borrowing for the government, cheap imports for you and me. The dollar was undisputed king, and we partied like it would never end. But kings get soft, they get arrogant, and this one got hooked on debt. Look at the math that politicians squirm. Debt to GDP is north of 120% and still climbing like it's on rocket fuel. We're borrowing fresh cash just to pay interest on the old cash. At the exact same time, central banks worldwide have been trimming their dollar stash from 70% back in the early 2000s down to about 57% today. Not a cliff drop, but a steady, quiet bleed that adds up. Now, layer on the geopolitics that nobody wants to talk about. Russia gets hit with sanctions, kicked off swift like a bouncer tossing a drunk. So Moscow builds its own messaging system and starts trading oil and gas for rubles and yuan. China watches and basically says, hell yeah, that's smart. Fast forward, and you've got BRICS Pay humming, currency swap lines popping up everywhere from Brazil to Indonesia. It's not that they woke up hating the dollar, they just got sick of Washington weaponizing it every time there's a disagreement. Sanctions are a hell of a club until the day the rest of the world figures out how to build a door that club can't break down. Here's the uncomfortable truth that hits you right in the pocketbook. Every single time a barrel of oil, a ton of soybeans, or a shipment of smartphones trades without dollars, the global demand for those dollars slips a little more. When demand slips, Two things happen fast. First, American exports get a little cheaper for foreigners. Cool for farmers and factories, right? But second, and this is the part that bites, it gets more expensive for the U.S. government to borrow. Treasury yields creep higher, mortgage rates follow, car loans, credit cards, business loans, everything. That quiet bleed stops being quiet the moment it shows up on your monthly statement. And the brutal irony, the very people who benefit most from a strong dollar, the U.S. government and the big banks, are the ones speeding up the slide. Massive deficits year after year, political theater instead of any real spending restraint. It's like watching a guy max out every credit card in the house while bragging he's still got the best credit score on the block. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left holding the bag when the interest bill lands. Don't get me wrong, the dollar isn't finished tomorrow, not even close. It still runs the deepest, most liquid markets on Earth. No other currency can step in overnight and do what it does. The euro's dragging its own debt problems. The yuan still isn't fully convertible, and the BRICS crew can't even agree on one single currency, because India sure as hell ain't handing Beijing the steering wheel. But the era where the dollar ruled without question or competition, that chapter is slamming shut faster than the headlines want to admit. Think about what this slow-motion shift actually means for your life. If the world keeps peeling away from the dollar, the Fed loses some of its God mode status. America can't finance trillion-dollar deficits at rock-bottom rates forever. Prices on everything we import, your phone, your clothes, even chunks of the food on your table start feeling different pressure. The stock market that looks so shiny on paper, it gets extra volatile when foreign money hesitates. And if you own a house, have a mortgage, or plan on retiring in the next 10 years, that slow erosion of dollar demand eventually shows up in your net worth, whether the TV pundits admit it or not. This isn't panic time, it's pattern recognition time. The same way you wouldn't ignore a crack in your foundation just because the house is still standing and the lights are on, you probably shouldn't ignore what's happening to the world's reserve currency while the so-called experts keep chanting "dollar is king" on repeat. Because here's the truth they don't want to say on the evening news or in the next White House briefing. The dollar didn't just die. It's being slowly retired by the very countries that once had no choice but to use it. The weapon that made America untouchable for decades is now the one other nations are learning to rout around. And the longer we pretend this isn't happening, the longer we keep printing and spending like the party never ends, the bigger and uglier the adjustment when reality finally kicks the door in. So the real question isn't whether the dollar is failing, it's whether we're smart enough to pay attention while it does, and what the hell we do about it before the bill comes due. What do you think happens next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, stay sharp and keep your eyes open out there.